Close to 200 countries and hundreds of climate and environment experts will attend. The annual Climate Change Summit in the Egyptian city of Sharm El-Sheikh from November 6 to 18. The meeting will take place in a year that has seen the most severe climate events. 1/3 of Pakistan was flooded, affecting 33 million lives, and over 15 million people could be pushed into poverty. Hurricanes caused massive destructions in the United States, the Philippines and Caribbean islands. While European countries were hit by the hottest summer in 500 years. The summit brings together all countries that signed the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change in 1992. The convention commits those countries to take common actions to stabilize greenhouse gas concentrations which contribute to the rise of the Earth's temperatures. Other actions fighting climate change include phasing down coal-fired power stations, reducing methane emissions and reversing deforestation and land degradation. Industrialized countries are urged to provide $100 billion a year to help developing countries cope with climate change. A new report by the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change said, programs submitted by countries to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions have failed their targets, and may lead the Earth's temperatures to rise to at least 2.5 degrees Celsius, a level deemed catastrophic. The 2015 Paris Agreement signed by most countries had called for limiting global temperatures to 1.5 degrees by the end of the century. A number of countries had announced their national determined contributions to reach that target by 2030. But their programs were not ambitious enough, the report said. Despite the negative assessment on efforts to cut down gas emissions, there have been an improvement over last year's report, a climate official said. The downward trend in emissions expected by 2030 shows that nations have made some progress this year, said Simon Style, Executive Secretary of UN Climate Change. But the science is clear, and so are our climate goals under the Paris Agreement. We are still nowhere near the scale and pace of emission reductions required to put us on track toward a 1.5 degrees Celsius world, Style said. He urged governments to strengthen their climate action plans now and implement them in the next 8 years. Government decisions and actions must reflect the level of urgency, the gravity of the threats we are facing, and the shortness of the time we have remaining to avoid the devastating consequences of runaway climate change, he said. The climate summit in Egypt is the moment where global leaders can regain momentum on climate change, make the necessary pivot from negotiations to implementation, and get moving on the massive transformation that must take place throughout all sectors of society to address the climate emergency, Style said. He called for progress to be made in 4 priority areas: mitigation, adaptation, loss and damage, and finance.
With the latest news on the United Nations and the world, make sure to subscribe to this Facebook account by clicking the button above this video. See you next time.